Good evening and welcome to Breaking Today News right here on Switch TV. I am Lincoln Obogwa. Our sign language interpreter is Michael Matthew. We have a lot in line for you tonight, but first, the headlines. It's a bishophood for me after politics, says Deputy President William Ruto as he flies the Hassler flag high in his tour of the coast region. And Turkana leaders set tough conditions for backing BBI as Raila Odinga pitches camp in the county for 3 days in a bid to popularize the report. Impunity as Marsabit County government officials and an MCA are linked to the impounded Marsabit County government vehicle ferrying an AK-47 rifle with 10 rounds of ammunition to bandits in the thickets of Funan Kumbi. We're live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. On YouTube, we're live as Switch TV News. Send in your feedback to our SMS line 111 and at Switch TV News and at Lincoln Umbogo. Border Patrol unit officers who are on target at patrol following a tip-off from members of the local community spotted a county government vehicle registration number 10 CG016A suspected to be distributing supplies to bandits in the thickets of Funan Kumbi in Marsabit. Majibu Kitsao reports.
After giving chase and intercepting the vehicle, the Tarbi Sololo Border Patrol Unit established that 2 of the vehicle occupants were county government employees, one of whom was in possession of an AK-47 assault rifle with 10 rounds of ammunition. The 4 occupants of the vehicle, registration number 10CG016A, belonging to the county government of Marsabit, were arrested today and flown to Nairobi for questioning by the DCI tomorrow and arraigned in court.
Yesterday, our officers, police officers, while on routine patrol within this area, they did receive an information to the effect that some individuals who are working with the county government were very busy supplying ammunitions and firearms using county government vehicles. The county government vehicles were 2, of which one was intercepted and it's just behind me here, and another one fled. The other Land Rover that fled was being used by an MCA, honorable somebody from Sololo Ward. So I want to believe that the county government must be knowing what is happening.
Detectives established that the county government vehicle was under the control of Sololo MCA Halkano Konso, who immediately went into hiding. The Eastern Regional Commander Noah Muivanda says if the MCA fails to surrender himself within 6 hours, Halkano will be treated as armed and dangerous. Muivanda made the statement today morning and the 6 hours have already elapsed.
In fact, I'm trying to ask him to report to the nearest police station in the next 6 hours, because that vehicle that fled is considered and believed to have been with ammunition that he was supplying in this region. So if he does not surrender himself to the police station, then we shall consider him as armed and dangerous and shall deal with him as such.
Meanwhile, the suspects will be presented before court on Monday, February 8th, while the rifle will be subjected to examination by DCI experts and later used as an exhibit in court during trial.
What we are going to do is that we are going to charge them with promoting warlike activities in this region, because they were supplying firearms that were meant to attack some other clans within the region. They want to arm them so that when it comes to the year 2022, they can have to push their agenda using firearms. That one we know.
Marsabit has in the recent past experienced perennial tribal clashes between the 2 major tribes of Borana and Gabra over politics and border-related issues, where area politicians have been questioned severally over loss of innocent lives. Majibu Kitsao for Switch TV.
Thank you, Mr. Bukitsa. Well, opposition leader Raila Odinga has called for a fast implementation of the BBI report before the 2022 general elections. Speaking at the Catholic Cathedral in Turkana, Odinga dismissed Deputy President William Ruto's wheelbarrow narrative, dubbing it a ploy to mislead Kenyans. Daniel Karaoke with the story.
Opposition leader Raila Odinga's brigade today concluded its three-day planned tour in Turkana County in the bid to try and popularize the BBI report. Raila was preaching the BBI gospel at the pulpit, dancing to a different beat from the Nobody Can Stop reggae to a Catholic hymn.
Turkana itakwenda kupata sasa 20 billion kutoka ile 11 billion ambayo walikuwa napata. Hiyo ni maendeleo, si maendeleo?
The ODM leader not sparing the hustler nation, claiming it does not spread a problem-solving narrative to the people, further dismissing Deputy President William Ruto's proposal of a multi-choice in a referendum.
Na BBI ni suluhu. Kuna wengine ambao wanaleta porojo mingi juu ya BBI. Kwa mfano, wengine wanatoa, wengine wanapotoshwa na porojo na propaganda. Sio kuwapatia hao mambo ya wheelbarrow. Si wheelbarrow, tunawapatia pesa ya kuanzisha biashara sawa sawa.
BBI inaongeza rasilimali ya kuja hapa chini from 15% to 35%. Hata ile mzee kama Lazaro hajawahi enda shule. Kwanza hiyo peke yake anajua pesa imeongezeka, imeenda juu.
In an unlikely and unexpected welcome, the governor of Turkana, Josephat Nanok, who is a staunch supporter of the deputy president, welcomed the former premier.
If you can find how that equalization fund can be catered for these 8 counties that are losing, then we will support you and the president in passing the BBI.
Odinga also urging Turkana residents to help fasten the BBI constitutional implementation process before the 2022 general elections. The BBI draft bill has now been introduced to county assemblies and targets to get support of at least 24 county assemblies. The Speaker of the county assembly shall then deliver a copy of the draft bill jointly to the speakers of the 2 houses of parliament with a certificate that the county assembly has approved it. Daniel Karaoke for Switch TV.
Thank you, Daniel Karaoke. Moving on, Deputy President William Ruto has continued his tour of the coastal region for the 4th consecutive day, campaigning for his 2022 succession bid. After attending a church service at ACK Mtwapa, the Deputy President continued his visit in the streets of Mtwapa to drum up support from his followers. Take a look.
In his 4th day visiting Mtwapa town, Deputy President William Ruto has continued to hit at his political opponents.
Mimi nawaambia nyinyi mnaosema mahasla ni watu wa fujo, wenye fujo ni nyinyi. Ama namna gani? Wenye vita ni nyinyi. Na wanataka kununua watu wachache wafanye fujo ndio mahasla walaumiwe. Sisi tunataka tuwaambie watashindwa.
Ruto has insisted that the hustler narrative is what the country needs to focus on at this particular time in order to help the younger generation forge ahead.
Saa hizi tuongee ya mama mboga pia, na mtu wa mkokoteni pia, na mtu wa kinyosi pia, na mtu ya wheelbarrow pia, na mtu ya butcher hapo pia, na mtu ya kiosk, kwa sababu Kenya ni yetu sisi wote.
His allies, confirming their support for his presidency, reiterated that they are sure of his victory come 2022 polls.
Ruto tuko na yeye, safari hii hatumwachilii. Akikata kona tunakata na yeye, akienda straight tunaenda na yeye, akiruka juu tunaruka na yeye, akija chini tunakuja, na tunaamini ya kwamba raisi wa 2022 William Ruto akipata.
With the Deputy President driving support, the country is gearing toward campaign mode ahead of the 2022 general elections as political temperature continues to rise. Nyakundi Calvin, Switch TV.
Thank you, Nyakudi Calvin. Still in Martyrs politics, nominated Member of Parliament David Ole Senkok has issued a 14-day ultimatum to the respective arms of government to arrest a Sunni East Member of Parliament Junaid Mohammed for his utterances against a senator living with disability. Senkok called on NCIC and DCI to take action against the legislator for his claims that nominated Jubilee Senator Isaac Mora bleached himself so as to get a nomination slot to represent people with disability in Parliament. The Orange Democratic Movement lawmaker made the remarks in Turkana County on Saturday, February 6th, during a Building Bridges Initiative popularization bid.
We are giving an ultimatum of 14 days for the National Cohesion and Equal Opportunities National Cohesion and Integration Commission to make sure that it takes the words of Junet as incitements, the directories, and as the meaning to the persona of persons with disabilities. All of us, with the categories of persons with disabilities, the 6.5 million persons with disability in this country, will have one day of mourning the death of Christopher Nimo, and mourning the demeaning of persons with disability, especially persons with albinism. After the end of that day that we'll fast and pray, we'll lay a curse upon Honorable Junaid Mohammed and 4 generations after him.
As the 2022 general election nears by at least 17 months, the political tension is being felt across the nation. Our reporter Daniel Karaoke speaks to a political analyst who helps break down the quagmire of the scramble for Uhuru's possible successor.
Now, as the political landscape continues to jitter ahead of the 2022 presidential elections, we speak to Edgar Kwesigei, who is a political analyst, to help us break down the push and pulls. And Edgar, thank you so much for having time for us. And my first question is, who will be President Uhuru's possible endorsement in 2022?
Well, when we talk about endorsement has destroyed people before. When we remember 2002, when Uhuru Kenyatta was endorsed by Moi, he got the lowest number of votes available at that time. And we remember that they had to concede and Kibaki had to be president. So if anyone is endorsed anytime now, then his or her votes are not going to be available anywhere in the country because of the perceived backing of the state. If the state backs you, then it means that you are going to miss out in the love for Kenyans. The deputy president knows this and has ran away to the country, to the people in the country to back him up. I have seen people endearing the president, wanting the president to endorse them. One of them is Musalia Mudavadi. Another one is Kalonzo Musyoka. Another one is Raila Odinga. Now, if these people, all of them are waiting for endorsement, then they are misguided. If the president endorses anyone, then that person is going to get lost. I advise them to run and face the people.
So are you saying the president's endorsement won't play a huge role in 2022?
Maybe it will play a huge role in destroying someone. And I advise those people not to wait for the president to endorse them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and who will Deputy President William Ruto go in with, if not Uhuru Kenyatta, as he had promised earlier?
He doesn't need Uhuru Kenyatta to get the hearts of Kenyans. As you have seen right now, he's doing very well in Meet the People tour in the coastal Kenya. He's doing very well. But I want also to commend Raila Odinga for doing very well in Turkana. You have seen the number of people coming out to listen to him. Even if you have nothing to sell to the people of Kenya, they will come out and listen to you. I commend Raila Odinga. He has even stopped playing the politics of BBI first. And he has started showing that he has been working.
Well, speaking of BBI, maybe we'll get to that. Yes. Some have termed the Hustler Dynasty initiative. Is it going to be divisive in 2022?
Well, it depends on how you say it. Some people have weaponized this hustler narrative, wanting to beat each other using the narratives that are being peddled around. when you turn people against each other using the hustler narrative, when you tell them William Ruto is selling the narrative to finish the rich, then you're weaponizing the country. If you have your narrative, bring it on and sell it. But do not go and use that other narrative to tarnish the other group. Popularization will be important when we will be having a referendum. But for now, they are targeting the MCAs to back this thing up. 24 counties should back this thing up. Let me ask you, when we were ousting the governor of Nairobi, did we need any sympathy from the MCAs to the president? No, we did not need it. In fact, some votes came, even when people were they had gone to Mombasa, right? When people were outside there, votes came in from nowhere. So even they can use this to get 24 counties. BBI must pass. And it must pass in any other way. And it has to pass. So the popularization that Odinga is doing is to wait for the referendum. And that is the popularization that they are doing. It is for the referendum. It is not for the MCAs. And if it is going to affect the MCAs, then it is going to be just a little. It is going to affect it in a small way. Yes.
Well, you are a political analyst. Your job is to analyze. Yes. As of now, how many counties do you think would support or rather turn down the BBI initiative?
Well, we start with Siaya. Siaya is over. And then we look at the Raila's home turf. Siaya is gone. We are waiting for Kisumu to pass unanimously. We are waiting for Homa Bay to pass it. We are waiting for Migori to pass it.
What of the central Kenya region?
Wait a minute. We don't know what Kikuyus will think. Kikuyus are very smart people, and they will go for what they think is reasonable. If you give them car grants, then they might give you that BBI.
Well, wait. Speaking of car grants, some have dubbed the 2 million car grant as a bribe to MCAs. Is it?
Well, yes, it is. It is a bribe to the MCAs. And you Kenyans, especially people like you, whom we are talking, could you please get your prize also? Get your prize. Because they are being dished out. Things are being given out by the government. If they can give out car grants to a tune of 4 billion shillings to the whole country, then what can't they do for you? Or you can negotiate for the doctors. The doctors will need close to 2 billion to settle their grievances. We can negotiate for other people. So this is the time for giving out goodies. Let us secure our goodies from the government.
And will they get it? Will they get the cars?
I think they will. Oh, yeah. You see, the SSC is the one that determines the allowances for the state officers. Then, if the SRC is under siege, like other institutions, the courts and stuff, then SRC has to give it out. And it has to justify what it is giving out. This thing must work. It must work. Okay. Under President Kenyatta, it must work. It must.
Thank you very much. That has been Edgar Kosigei, a political analyst, dissecting matters BBI and the 2022 general elections. I have been Daniel Kariuki.
Thank you, Daniel Kariuki. With that, we now take a short commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Welcome back and thank you for keeping it Switch TV. We are live on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. On YouTube, we are live the Switch TV News. Kenya National Union of Teachers NAT Secretary General Wilson Sossion has urged teachers to embrace the Building Bridges initiative. Addressing the media in Mombasa while overseeing NAT Mombasa branch elections, Sossion said BBI will improve governance as the presidency will be more responsible, hence respectful to unions. He added that through the BBI, ministers will be appointed from Parliament, hence making governance easy, as the voice of the people will be well represented. On matters of delocalization of teachers, Sossion added that the move does not promote cohesion as perceived, but has led to many families falling apart. Sossion has also called on Teachers Service Commission to ensure retired teachers are paid their dues on time.
Kenyans will fight. Never again should Kenyans fight. And the only way to stop it is through BBI. Families have been separated through this policy of delocalization. And delocalization does not improve national cohesion whatsoever. The intention is to disorganize teachers. And it's fundamentally...
And from the business desk, after the catastrophic year that was 2020, many sectors are now recovering, and WHO comes next after Jeff Bezos quit the CEO position. Joan Kutunyi looks into the weekly recap happenings in the business work, and this is what she has for us.
The private sector grew to 53.2% in January from 51.4% in December last year. Stanbic Bank Kenya Purchasing Managers Index has reported that the business activity post-relaxed COVID measures saw customers increase their spending in the first month of 2021 as cash flows improved and more businesses resumed operation. In other stories, Kenya's hotel industry estimates the country lost in excess of 150 billion shillings in tourism earnings to the COVID-19 pandemic as the tourism industry collapsed across the world. And in the markets today, flower companies have reported a rise in new job intakes. New employment show the recovery of a sector that was highly affected by the pandemic in 2020. And on the international front, after 27 years, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos will be standing down as the CEO of the startup company. Bezos is handing over the CEO role to Andy Jassy, who is the second highest stakeholder in the online retail shop, which is worth $1.7 trillion, reporting for Switch TV. My name is Joan Kutunyi.
Thank you, Joan. Continue moving on. The Scottish fishing business is suffering post-Brexit deal. The introduction of new checks and paperwork since the end of the Brexit transition period on December 31st has caused disruption of exports of fresh fish and seafood to the European Union. Producers have expressed frustration at the lack of government action, while last month seafood hauliers protested against the Brexit fishing deal by stacking lorries in Central London. Task Force will be action-oriented as it worked to ensure that medium and long-term export issues are resolved. The Scottish Seafood Exports Task Force will bring together representatives from the UK government and carting, processing and aquaculture sectors, with the Scottish government also invited to take part at both ministerial and official levels. Well, away from politics and business, it's now time to get sporty with Cedric Oronja.
Many thanks for staying with us. My name is Cedric Oronja, and now let's get sporty. The Marsabit derby pitting eternal rivals Gor Mahia and AFC Leopards ended Old Square in a dull encounter that saw minimal scoring opportunities. The fixture clocked 90 minutes with only a few selected fans in the common Marsabit derby norm.
Nafikiri labda ukitizama safari ambayo tumekuwa nayo dhidi ya wapinzani wetu wa jadi, ni kwamba imekuwa ni safari ngumu. Imekuwa ni safari ambayo kila hatua ambayo tunapata lazima tukaweze kushukuru.
I'm not happy, of course. Always we play to win. I'm very happy about the first half especially. We play very well. We create good chances to score. In this type of game, if you get opportunities like today we need to kill the game.
Now, Hurricane has made a speedy return from injury to save Tottenham's scoring struggles after hitting one for the Spurs at the 55th minute against West Bromwich Albion.